Hey everybody, just thought I'd give a little as just a report back here on these two machines. We got them both. They're getting close to their 6-month warranty original part there, so it's nice to catch whatever was wrong or what we thought about them, or if we want to keep them or switch them or trade them, whatever. And yeah, that's coming up really quick, I think in January. So I just thought I'd give an overall. They're both around 20 hours. Nothing major hour-wise, but thought I'd just shoot through both machines. It's a pleasure, and we're lucky that we can have both of these. Not ideal for most people, I know. Like I say, we're lucky, right? So, in the event, so they're kind of not quite extreme opposites. It's a major turbo versus non-turbo thing here in a lot of ways. So Maverick here Sport is the non-turbo. Of course, we got the turbo 195. So 2020 here and 2019 here. They've both been super satisfying to drive. So I'll just go over a couple of the pros and the cons. Like if you were to have to buy one, we've talked about that many times, wife and I, like which way would we go if we had to pick one, or how to get rid of one, which one would we keep if we had to. It's just neat to check out all those scenarios. So for the kind of riding we do, I mean, yeah, you look up those mountains right there before the snow. That's pretty much where we are most of the time. A little bit of dune riding once or twice a year kind of thing. But so we went from the wider version, the 18 72 inch, down to this, and that was a big worry. Will we regret it, right? And we had the Turbo S that was wide too. And first off, I'm gonna say zero regrets. Just seems like we're just flying and flicking through stuff like nothing. This one here, rather than being a bit of a floater and the big tires all the same size and the extra width, I don't find it less stable, honestly, in any way. If you set it right, of course it's narrower, so it's going to be a touch less stable, but it is a point and shoot machine. Like, this thing follows your steering wheel and your input bang on. It's super refined compared to the older ones. From the clutching, just the engagement's been super sweet to have at your foot. But yeah, if we had to pick, I mean, this is kind of what this is about. You basically, I mean, if that didn't have the turbo in there and cost $5,000 more, these two would be so much more similar. So which ride would I pick from everyday riding? I'm gonna say, honestly, for my everyday riding, if we were to ride all the time in the comfort, and the wife wants to jump in this one, drive around for the sightseeing, the sight lines and all that kind of stuff, as fun as this racer is, this would be the everyday choice for, if I had to pick one machine, dump a bunch of money in and make it exactly the way I wanted, and I wasn't on the dunes and desert, absolutely this would be the machine. This one will do everything just as well in a bit of a different way. It's just, for all that extra more money and the lower down sporty feel and all that, it depends. Like, if that's the rush rider you are all the time, then I guess you're kind of a little more of a, when it comes down to it, you're more of a YXZ type of rider kind of thing, where you want to get the pure sport adrenaline going. Well, this is your machine here. Not to take away, again, that this can be a heck of a lot of fun. It's only 100 horsepower, but this machine it's one of those things where you can only use so much throttle in a lot of the terrain you go into anyways, and this has plenty of it. Like, we're breaking the wheels loose on this all the time. So I'm going to go over, just kind of compare the two. So if I went suspension first, you got great shocks on both. They're different, but they're both great. They're both meant for what the machine is. These have been awesome. You can tune them in so many different ways. This kind of riding, though, you know what? It's nice. It's not dynamic, so you don't have the switch, but you jump out, click, 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 you're done. Shocks on this thing hold out like crazy. There's no sag, there's no bottoming out, even jumping, anything. It's been absolutely amazing for suspension. This one, as great as the suspension can be, it needs tickering around and playing with and adjusting. It's going to be like that until you get to that sweet spot of how you want it and all that. So, like I say, you know, if you just want your everyday rider, turn the key, go. Trust me, this thing is going to do almost everything this one is going to do. Some things I'm going to tell you that it does better. But suspension-wise, it's great. Now let's talk about the ride height. They're both supposed to be the same ride height. This one, if you tell right away, right out of the box, it's a pure 15 inches. This one here, I've cranked up, and it gets up to 13. After a little ride, it sags a little bit, then you get back up to 13 and a half, and I think we're still only around the 13 and a half, 14. We gotta crank it up one more time. So it depends how you're gonna ride, where you're gonna ride. But yeah, you'll feel the bottom bumping now and then. And yeah, you can get it up to 15, but you kind of lose some of that awesome stableness of when it's down low. Like when you see it come out of the crate and it's all squatted down low. Not when they're cinched down with the straps, you know, but some of them just come. Like this one actually came at 9.5 and 10 inches of clearance. So yeah, that's just too low. Too low for pretty much anywhere. But so that's suspension, that's ground clearance we've covered. You know, lighting is pretty much the same on either or. The rads, same thing. Cooling systems have no issues there. Braking on both has been great. Let's see, if you go, we've got the snorkeling on here and this one doesn't, but you can put that on. As far as this to the XRS, I do enjoy more because I get next to zero mud inside. So, and this one too, even though it's an XMR and the wheels stick out a little further, we replace them with bighorns, but for our trails, but still, like next to nothing goes inside. So that's a very nice thing compared to even going slow-mo in the razor somewhere. It used to flick in like crazy all the time. As far as accessories, parts, all that stuff is great. Haven't had any belt issues or chirping of the belts or anything yet. So that's been all great. I'm just trying to think of anything that would really tell you, like, negative wise. If I could think of anything negative wise on this guy, I'm going to tell you right now. I know you got helmets on, there's stuff you can do, and this one is quieter than the older models. But the noise is just, I don't care what anybody says or thinks. Like, I love noise too, and high powered stuff, but it's a rattler right behind your head, and it can, you know, despite the improvements, it can still tick you right off. It just, sometimes it just starts piercing you and catching you, and you're just not in the mood for it. So that'd be my biggest beef on this machine. Second, I wish a machine this fast with 195 horse. It should be illegal to sell them with this ridiculous seatbelt. It's like you're setting somebody up to not finish paying it off or something. I don't know. You know, this kind of machine, it's great. It's set up, at least it could take it and everything, give you the choice. But a lot of people ride these very, very chill. And as much as you do that, this, like I said, this one, you can push the limits on this machine. And you know, at least you can get them in there. But, and not change the seats, because I love the seats in there. Seats, doors, classy, nice, cool door, works great. It's stock, it comes with it. It's built into the price. These doors, it's an old thing, but the strap thing, come on, it's super cheesy. That's just got to go. It's almost embarrassing, to be honest. But you know, and then as far as anything negative to say about them, really, I really can't come up with a whole lot. It's still in the early on going right now. But as far as riding, they both, this one exceeded way more than where I thought it would go, because I tested it all based on the sport, just a regular Maverick, and I only thought, well, this one's just going to be that little bit better, but it's just way better. like amazingly better for that little extra bit of money. Okay, it's not little, it's another 4 or 5,000. No, that's another 4 or 5,000. So yeah, there should be a difference for that kind of money for sure. But it's just a lot came with it for that, you know. So you got arched arms, way better suspension, and your heavy synthetic winch and snorkeling, and it goes on and on and on. So, but this one, the DS, it's a pretty loaded machine, just like the XRS. Other than the seatbelt issue, I think should be mandatory on it. Other than that, you know, you got beadlocks, winch. Pardon me, I'm putting my own winch in there. It didn't come with that. That's all right. Move my own bumper over, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up now before they shoot in, because this one here is getting a pretty crazy build going on it. So it's going to get stripped down a bit and a whole bunch of stuff added in there and whatnot. Other things too, like fuel. They're both pretty decent in fuel. This one here, I find if you're cranking on it, it actually seems to sip it pretty good. And I'm sure this one does too if you're actually really wailing on it. But if you're a moderate ride, pumping the gas here and there and all that, and I'm actually shocked at how well this one does on the fuel. But it's the lightest of all the X3s, so it's a couple 100 pounds less than most of the other guys. So you got the speed, you got the power to weight ratio in there is crazy. I definitely feel the difference between this huge and 2018. I mean, steering's better. Like I said, the clutching, the drive line, everything just feels way better. The shocks, even though you can play with them, they are definitely just tuned a little bit different. They just seem out of whack on those first couple of years there. They seem pretty dialed in now. So complaints, yeah, like I say, the noise on this one would be more enjoyable to hear it screaming. It's when you kind of decel and get off around the RPMs there. I can't, it's 4,500, 5,300-ish kind of area it seems to do. Get that rattling chatter. It's ear piercing. So other than that, and then this, the XMR, could honestly say I can't come up with one single complaint yet. It'd be neat if the seat moved back and forth. Everybody comes in there and kind of tries to move it back and forth, but for the most part, and because this doesn't adjust storage wise, all that stuff, I mean, the cockpit of this it's set, man. You just open the door and walk in here like butter. Nothing's funnying in your way, and just cozy right in. You get, and the nice thing too is like you don't feel too restricted in here. You can have like double up on the jackets and some thicker pants if you're cold, if you're going out in the cold forest. And you got tons of storage on here and room for storage and options galore. Whereas you know, this one obviously it's built to be a tight finish. Jump in there and feel tight and snug. So you just want your regular comfortable clothes. And storage in here is, you got to add a bunch of stuff for storage. You know, you got to add your extra cases, and I don't have anything on the doors yet because I might change these doors out. I just find them a little bit hokey. I mean, they do their job, but there's something, I don't know what it is. They just, the rest of everything seems nice and tight on this machine, and then you get to the doors and just a little flippity flop there. So yeah, it's been a blast. Like I love this. I had the 18 XRS and I love that too, but this one just seems to be definitely dialed in for getting into the trails and, you know, the fire roads, everything like that. You just slam it, and I don't know, I just feel it, just like I say, point and shoot. I feel it goes exactly where I tell it to go. Especially, you know, you got smart lock, which is a huge improvement. So that's been absolutely awesome to have. The new gauge clusters, they're on both of these now. Both units have them. I can honestly say I have no problem with them at all so far. Some people complain about not having the tack there. I mean, I don't know why you would need a tack on a 100 horsepower trail machine in the first place. I mean, yes, I get these are fast, but we're not race car drivers. We just like to wing it and fling it and you know, unless I'm doing engine mods and going crazy, dumping the crazy dough in there. Not much point for me to have a tack on there. That's the last thing I'm watching anyways when I drive. If I use a tack, I don't even know why I'm using it for what. Not really a whole lot. There's no launch mode or nothing in here. So yeah, we'll get this build done. This thing sucker's gonna be pretty ripped up. Hopefully get the Evo 3R in there. See what they got going for choices for that now for the 2020. This one here, I think I'm gonna program, get that set up. I think it'll help out with the exhaust. We have the Yoshi exhaust on the back, and I could just hear the way it's running. It needs programmed or tuned up a little bit there. It could use the help, I think. So yeah, and I'll get a few more accessories on here. I'm gonna get that power flip down window that goes on there. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff we haven't put on there yet. We haven't had time, but yeah, lots more riding coming up. We'll get these two beasts in a lot more rides, and I want to tear it down. So at the end of this, if you guys stay tuned, you'll see, you know, the biggest question that's going on right now is all the channels all the time is, do you need the turbo, or did you need this, or versus spending all the money? Like, where's the line? Where do you draw it? What do you buy? What do you spend your money on that you did or didn't have to? What was a need? What was a want? Well, I'll tell you right now, from my experience of a lot of machines, if you're gonna buy that Maverick Sport, which is not talked about as much as it should be because of all the hype with the Kawasaki and the Talon coming out, but this one here it should be way more talked about against them, because I bet you it outperforms them in certain areas for sure. So, and you know, a lot of guys are worried about going in the trail and not having. Should they have spent that much more money on that one, or would they be fine with this? And I'm going to tell you right now, absolutely. Like, the capabilities of this machine, I mean, it's a nasty beast. It's an excellent ride. I mean, wherever we're going, I'm seeing everybody and thinking, well, if they cleared that, I'm going to walk over that like no problem. So, and this one has the smart lock and mud mode and trail mode as well. So there's really not a whole lot that stops this. It's pretty crazy if you look at, for a stock machine to come out with that much ground clearance, right? Whereas this is supposed to be 15, but you gotta keep rolling and rolling to make it go there. And see, the trailing arms are there too, right? So for a lot of stuff, like, I prefer on this one how it has the system at the back, whereas you look at the arched, I mean, it's just crazy. You're just dead clear. You're not going to be dragging over barely anything other than skid plate. So yeah, it's been great. Can't wait to do a lot more riding and get more feedback, and hopefully help people choose the right machine that they did or didn't have to buy, and maybe save them from buying one and having to return it and get another one. It's always nice to get it right the first time, but sometimes it's not a cheap thing to do. So everybody, thanks for watching, supporting. Whoever got this far or hasn't subscribed yet or liked the video, please do. Comment away. I love chatting with people on here and discussing everything. I love the sport. So until the next video, cheers guys.